channel. In this lecture, we are going to discuss ionic equilibrium, and in ionic equilibrium, we'll discuss some fundamental things first. What are the electrolytes and what are the types of electrolytes are there, and what are the examples for electrolytes, and even the degree of ionization or dissociation, and the important thing, Ostwald dilution law. So all these things we'll discuss in this video. Let's discuss what is meant by ionic equilibrium. So ionic equilibrium is the equilibrium which is established between electrolyte compound and ions of the electrolyte. So we are taking one compound, one electrolyte compound, and if equilibrium is established between its ions, then it is called as ionic equilibrium. We'll discuss some example. So let us take some electrolyte, let us take AB, and in reaction further it gives ions A plus and B minus. Let us take, for suppose if equilibrium is established between these two, then it is electrolyte compound and these are ions of electrolyte. So this type of equilibrium can be called as ionic equilibrium. Ionic equilibrium. We'll discuss further examples. Right? What is meant by electrolyte? Electrolyte is a compound. It is a compound or a chemical substance which will give ions either by dissolving in solvent or in molten state. That can be called as an electrolyte. So we have various types of electrolytes. We have particularly two types of electrolyte. One is strong electrolyte and another one is weak electrolyte. We can describe their strengths by taking one particular solvent as reference. First of all, electrolytes. There are two types again: strong electrolytes, weak electrolytes. Strong electrolytes, weak electrolytes. So strong electrolytes are the compounds which completely ionized in a solvent, which completely dissociated in a solvent. That can be called as strong electrolytes. So for strong electrolytes, the degree of dissociation or the degree of ionization is 100%. The degree of dissociation is 100%. Then what about weak electrolytes? So weak electrolytes are the electrolytes which will not completely ionized or dissociated in a given solvent. They can be called as weak electrolyte. We can say their degree of ionization or dissociation is less than 100%. Or else, for strong electrolytes, the degree of dissociation or ionization is always unity. Then for weak electrolytes, the degree of dissociation or ionization, can be represented with alpha. So for weak electrolyte, it is always less than 1. Right? Then if we take any type of electrolytes on infinitive dilution, their degree of ionization tends to be unity. The degree of ionization tends to be unity on infinitive dilutions. Next we will discuss the examples for strong electrolytes. So for strong electrolytes, we can take any strong acids, all strong acids and all strong bases and salts like HCl, H2SO4, HNO3, NaCl, and strong bases such as NaOH, KOH. So all these things can be discussed under strong electrolytes, because when we dissolve them in particular solvent, particularly water we are taking as reference. So if we dissolve them in water, they will completely ionize to give ions. They completely ionize. They will 100% ionized. All these things can be written for these strong electrolytes as examples. Then what about these weak electrolytes? Examples for these weak electrolytes, we can take all weak acids and weak bases. Best examples these two are. So weak acids such as acetic acid, HCl, and even for weak acid still we can write phosphoric acid, H2SO3 we can write, and boric acid we can write H3BO3, and we can write even weak base such as NH4OH. Still many examples are there. So generally We can remember for weak electrolytes, weak acids and weak bases. Then for strong electrolyte, strong acids and strong bases, and some salts also. Some salts also we can write examples for weak electrolyte and strong electrolyte. Next we will discuss the degree of dissociation or ionization. So degree of ionization, this can be denoted with alpha. For suppose we have one solvent. In this solvent we have added 100 molecules of electrolyte. We have added 100 molecules of electrolyte. Out of these 100 molecules, let us take 50 molecules are dissociated into ions. Then for this particular electrolyte, we can give the degree of dissociation or degree of ionization as, so here how many number of molecules dissociated into ions? 50 molecules. So divided by how many molecules of electrolyte is dissolved in a given solvent. So that is 100. So we will get 0.5. So this degree of dissociation for this electrolyte in this solution is 0.5. So that's why we can write, so alpha is equals to the number of molecules dissociated into ions divided by the total number of molecules dissolved in a solvent. So this is just ratio of the number of molecules dissociated into ions and the total number of molecules are dissolved in a given solvent. So this ratio can give the degree of dissociation to us. Clear? So next we will discuss what is meant by Ostwald dilution law. According to Arrhenius theory of dissociation of electrolyte, when molecules of electrolyte in solution continuously, it will split into ion. For suppose I am taking some electrolyte and I am adding to solution. In this solution, these molecules of an electrolyte continuously splitting to give ions. So plus minus plus minus. Ions are going to develop in this solution. Again, the resulted ions will reunited to give unionized electrolyte molecules back. In such situation, we can say there is equilibrium is established. There is equilibrium is established. That particular equilibrium can be called as dynamic equilibrium. For suppose I am taking one binary electrolyte, that is AB. I am dissolving this AB in some solution. I am getting A plus and B minus ions. A plus and B minus ions. Let us take the concentration of this electrolyte initially in the sense when time is taken as 0. Just before the starting of reaction we can say. So time is 0. When time is 0, the concentration of this electrolyte reactant, let us take C. Then when starting of the reaction, there is no concentration of product. There will be no concentration of product because just we have initiated the reaction. At equilibrium, definitely there will be decrease in the concentration of reactant because it splits into form ions. It is splitting into ions. So because of that reason, the concentration of these electrolytic molecules decreases as reaction further undergoes or reaction further proceeds. The concentration of reactant molecules will be decreases. Right? So here let us take at equilibrium the concentration of A plus and B minus ions as C alpha. Alpha represents here the degree of dissociation from reactant to product, how many molecules are converted into ions, that can be calculated by using this alpha. Then what about the concentration of reactant at equilibrium? Then here, so this much concentration will be reduced from initial concentration of reactant. So C minus C alpha we can write, or else we can simplify as C into 1 minus alpha. C into 1 minus alpha. We apply law of mass action for this reaction. Then according to law of mass action, so dissociation constant K can be written as the product of concentration of products divided by the product of concentration of reactant. So this is product of concentrations of product divided by product of concentration of reactant. A is equals to product of concentration of product. So here we obtain product A plus and B minus. So concentration of A plus into concentration of B minus divided by, here we have only one reactant, so concentration of AB. Further we can substitute the concentration values what we obtained at equilibrium condition in this equation. So K is equals to, so concentration of A plus C alpha into concentration of B minus C alpha divided by concentration of AB at equilibrium, that is C into 1 minus alpha. So K is equals to C square alpha square divided by C into 1 minus alpha. Here C square and C will get cancelled. Will get C alpha square divided by 1 minus alpha. Here for weak electrolyte, for any weak electrolyte, I already discussed that for weak electrolyte the degree of dissociation is very, very less. Then what it means? So alpha is very less than 1. So for any weak electrolyte, this value can be taken as 1 minus alpha can be taken as 1, because we can neglect this degree of dissociation for weak electrolyte. So because of this reason, this equation becomes K is equals to C alpha square. So dissociation constant K is equals to C alpha square. Here C represents the concentration and alpha represents the degree of dissociation. Next, from this equation we will obtain some expressions, important expression in exam point of view. We will discuss them now. Let us take this equation is 1. So from this equation, the degree of dissociation alpha can be written as K divided by C, and we are sending this square this side, so we are getting square root. So alpha is equals to square root of K by C. This is another equation. So from this equation we can calculate the degree of dissociation or ionization. Or if you want to calculate the concentration of any ion which we obtained in that reaction, so that can be calculated by using C alpha. Just now I have written, and C alpha will give us the concentration of ion what we obtained in a particular reaction. So already we have alpha value here. So if we multiply this alpha with C, we are going to get the concentration of any ion at equilibrium. So square root of K by C, and we are multiplying with C. So I can write this C as square root of C into square root of C, and I am simplifying this square root of K by C as square root of K divided by square root of C. So here square root of C will get cancelled, and finally we'll get C alpha is equals to square root of K into C. Square root of K into C. So here this is concentration of any ion at equilibrium. Let's give this equation as 2 and this equation as 3. So this is very simple. Here we have basically 3 important equations. This is the equation to calculate dissociation constant for a given reaction. This is the equation This is the expression to calculate the degree of dissociation, and this is the expression to calculate the concentration of ion at equilibrium. Sometimes in terms of volume also they will ask. So we can modify this same equation in terms of volume. We know concentration C is equals to N by V. So if I substitute this same formula in this equation, so K is equals to C alpha square divided by 1 minus alpha. Here C is, I have written already, C is equals to N by V. So if I substitute same formula in this equation, N alpha square divided by 1 minus alpha V. Here I have taken only 1 mole of reactant, so I am substituting just simply in place of N1. So that equation can become alpha square divided by 1 minus alpha into V. So here N is equals to V. This is another equation. This is another equation. This is also important equation. From this equation, it's very clear the degree of dissociation is increases on dilution. So degree of dissociation increases on dilution. And from this equation, we can write one more expression. Just here, we can replace this concentration term by V volume term. So alpha is equals to, so concentration is inversely proportional to volume, so it becomes the square root of Kv. So this is the equation. When if you want to calculate the degree of dissociation, then they have given the values in terms of dissociation constant and volume. So these are the different equations which we are using in problem solving from this Ostwald dilution law. This is about this lecture. So please post your opinions in comment section. Really, it means a lot for us. And all teachers trying their level best to give best output to you. So please encourage us and please subscribe our channel.